and run. Contrary to popular belief, you can go for a run and not make it everybody's problem. But soon enough, everyone was awake and we got on the boat to go to Capri. But first, if you don't mind, a quick word from the sponsor of this video. I'm stuck in a big plate of spaghetti. No, I don't want to talk about it. Thank you so much, guys.
I actually do like sofa.
Huge, but compared to New York City has the best pizza. And credit score all day. The relaxing sunny day SoFi credit score monitoring you can hurt your the description. Oh my god, dude, the hair's blonde. I don't want to be rude, but that's disgusting. As Naples slowly shrank behind us, we turned to the open ocean. The four of us had prepared for a relaxing sunny day on the island. But unfortunately, what we got that morning was a lot of wind and rain. Even on a cloudy day, the island looked incredible. And soon, the ferry arrived. We got off the boat, and I was trying to take in the sights, but while riding a cable car up to the top of the island, this annoying-ass kid would not stop asking me questions.
Is this for your YouTube channel? No. So, are you like Mr. Beast? Or Brent Rivera? What's your favorite Brent Rivera video?
The first views of the island were beautiful, and as we walked around, it continued to be just that.
I really do like this. It's shit like that, like this kind of like scenery and stuff of why I want to go visit Italy.
Continued to be just that.
Okay, sounds good. Do your thing. I'll be here. I ain't going anywhere. I got anything better to do.
Sorry. Fucking doll. Jesus. After grabbing a quick lunch, the clouds parted and the natural beauty of Capri basked in the sunlight. Maybe this is just me, but walking around somewhere this pretty sometimes fills me with an equal amount of guilt as it does joy. Growing up, a trip like this was completely impossible for me, and still is for a ton of people in my life. So doing it on...
Okay. I have to kind of applaud him for like the awareness that he's having now.
My family has dreamed about it for years, adds a weight to the experience.
Hey, if that's what he looks like when he scratches, imagine it would look like he's jerking off.
Now, aside from the breathtaking beauty of
Jesus,
Capri,
okay.
I did actually have
trash.
food that was worse than Olive Garden here. I spotted this snack in the window of a shop, and it was really bad. Like pulled out of the window display after hours, not even heated up, and handed to me bad. And before Italians message me telling me that I picked the wrong place or that it's meant for tourists like me, if you get to put us on blast for Olive Garden, I get to say that I didn't like this. Capri is also famous for their lemons, and we did have sorbetto il limone. It tasted great, but I don't speak Italian, so I have no clue what this thing is. But if I'm measuring this against Olive Garden, I think atmosphere would be what Capri is bringing to the table. Am I really ready to say that a place like this has a better atmosphere than a restaurant chain started by a cereal company in Orlando, Florida?
The answer should be yes. This place is substantially better.
Well, Olive Garden does have a never-ending pasta pass, so I don't know. I think I need more convincing. The next morning, it was time to head out of Naples and take a train all the way down to Sicily. What the hell is Jumanji World? Whoops. No time. Gotta go to the train station. I took a moment to grab some snacks in the station before our train, and I spotted one of my favorite Italian original novels, Diario di una Sciapa, with its hilarious main character, Gregorio Heflo. They even had Michael Jackson and Mickey Mouse. Now, traveling south by train was an absolute joy. I stared out the window, taking in a long stretch of the Italian coast, snacking on some cacio e pepe chips that I got from the station. Now, in Italian, the word cacio cacio means cheese, e means and, while the word pepe means pepper. So, no clue what the flavor of the chips were. The bag wasn't in English, but they tasted great. To kill time, I also drew this portrait of Drew.
You didn't draw it, that's a photo of me, right? That's what
I drew it.
you traced a photo of me.
No, I drew it myself from
How
memory.
are you so good then? When did you get so good at drawing?
But I had no idea the fate that crept toward me as I headed to the bathroom.
Okay,
There,
Drew.
in front of my eyes was a holeless toilet. Where does it all go? Where do I flush if there's no arrow to guide me? How do I flush if there's no hole? How do I flush if there's no hole? How do I flush if there's no hole? Oh, it's a button on the ground. Oh, and the hole is on the rim. Got it. Sorry, maybe some clearer instructions, for a guy like me, but I got it, we're good. Now, when I mentioned a train to Sicily, you might have thought, but that's the thing the boot is kicking. How can the train go from the toes to the other part? Well, what if I told you they put the train on a boat?
Yeah.
Now, I don't normally get seasick.
Of
and
course.
that continued to be true on this boat ride.
I
because
should have
a
been
strong
fishing
will
for
and a
blue
great
seal.
center of gravity. Looking out at
Didn't
Sicily
matter.
for the first time felt like it should be a big moment for me. I grew up hearing about being Sicilian from Chicago Italians. It was beautiful, but I don't feel like I'm from here at all. But perhaps I'm not seasick because of the genes passed down from my Sicilian ancestors. Or perhaps it's that I'm better than people with seasickness. Anyway, there was a concession stand on the boat and we enjoyed some arancini and some wine. Now, arancini in Italian means little oranges. The Italian cooking this must have been confused because he accidentally gave me this delicious ball of fried risotto. But back on land, finally, Amanda gave Drew a
We
new
see
look.
sickness. Jesus Christ. How are you, Bubba? Merry Christmas. How was the
Taormina,
holidays
Sicily. With
for
only
you?
one night and one day before an overnight train to Rome, we began exploring immediately.
Hello.
What's up, dude? Just walk by?
We're gonna go get some meats. You want anything?
One thing that America and Italy absolutely share is that if you're in a place where there are enough people visiting from out of town, you will see a minion somewhere. We got dinner and I had this crab gnocchi. It was fantastic, and it was €20. Meaning it was about $19 US, meaning it was $5 less than the tour of Italy.
That's
from Oliver.
crazy.
On the walk back
No,
from dinner,
not too
to
bad,
my
actually.
horror, I found that they had imprisoned the minion. Oh, we also saw two of the cutest cats that I have ever seen on the walk. Okay,
Oh.
good night.
Not too bad though. Just been, kind of cozy, big
One of
chilling
Sicily's
today.
famous snacks is the
You know?
granita, a frozen flavored
Can't,
dessert that
can't
is
complain too
so
much about it.
clearly stolen from Icy. Sicily, you ain't slick, okay? It did taste very good though. My compliments. I tip my hat to the chef, or my compliments to the chef. In a local shop, we saw this hilariously shaped pasta. The gals on Facebook are gonna love this one. Now, I'm sure that Drew assumed that I was gonna narrate over this part, but instead, I think I'm gonna play the original audio. We were headed down to the beach today, but if you were lounging in the
Alright.
sun on a beautiful Sicilian beach, the absolute last thing you'd want is an American YouTuber filming you in your bathing suit. So I didn't film any of that. But man, the stuff that you didn't get to see was really fun. I wish you could have been there. Returning to town, we were greeted by Taormina's cats. Unfortunately, we were not spending another night in Sicily because we were catching an overnight train to Rome. The four of us were sharing a double
Dude.
bunk bed cabin on the train, which meant I was about to fulfill
Balcho's fucking me. Other than that, I'm good.
one of my greatest fantasies, sleeping with the road work ahead guy. Road work ahead? Yeah. I sure hope there's some head. But first, a quick trip to the bathroom and what's this? I need a token to pee.
That's crazy.
Well, I'll just use my card and
I forgot about him.
Fine. Let me just walk back to my bag then. Okay, I got the change. And let me just put it does not fit. Oh, okay. I get it now. I need to get some cash to get some coins to then insert a coin to get a new coin to go to the bathroom. Got it. You know, Italy,
That's
if you want to
a
stop people
little
from simply going
interesting.
to the bathroom when they need one, do the decent American thing and make your city so uninhabitable for homeless people that they wouldn't be able to even access an outdoor bathroom like this. The coin thing is just barbaric.
It is a little wild, I'll admit, but
The idea of taking an overnight train in Europe was very exciting to me.
Oh, well.
Growing up, I was always so jealous of seeing people in movies who got to ride in fancy train cars. What kind of luxurious bedroom was in store for... Why is everyone stopped in the doorway? Oh, because the room is the doorway? And you want to see my suitcase for scale? Okay, tight sleeping arrangements, and once the train got going, walking to the bathroom was a real balancing act. Just as I drifted off to sleep, I was woken up by the noise of the train being stowed away on the ferry. Much like some of my ancestors, I was now leaving Sicily by boat. I began to ponder what it was like for them to travel, what their lives were like, what kind of YouTube video they were making at the time. Could it be 100 boys versus 100 girls?
I built 2 massive circles and put 100 boys in one and 100 girls in the other.
But they're dead and I'm tired, so rip bozo, I'm gonna go pee before I go to bed and wake up near Rome. Was that one of the worst sleeps of my life? Yes. You know the age-old
let's see. Let's
when
go
in
Saturday.
Rome,
No, I'm 4
visit
points
the most
short.
Internationally famous tourist spots. First up was the Trevi Fountain. So unbelievably crowded that I have no idea how Paolo had the elbow room to ask Lizzie McGuire on a date here. And if you're immediately starting to type Eddie, that's not where Paolo asked Lizzie McGuire out on a date. He asked her out on a date in front of the gelato shop when she was holding a giant cheese wheel. Well, I ask you this. How does it feel to be over 30 years old? How does 30 feel? Sure, the fountain...
What?
was beautiful, but it was too chaotic to really enjoy. But if you don't get a photo next to a famous monument, it's like you never really went at all. Excuse me, do you mind taking a photo real quick? Hey. Next up, we saw the Pantheon, Assassin's Creed 2 trailer. Yeah?
Really?
You want me to show you on my phone right now? Yeah. Okay.
Ezio Auditore.
Ezio. Oh, yeah. Well, no, that's just some guy in a hoodie. Oh, he goes back in time. Yeah. Ow.
And for those of you who are about to comment,
Ow.
Eddie, that's not actually Assassin's Creed 2's trailer. That's Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. How's it feel to almost be 30? How's it feel to almost be 30 years old? Yeah, me too. Rome was full of so much rich architecture and history.
Are
It
you
felt
good,
like me
Eddie?
and everyone else around me was walking.
Did someone
through
turn
the
30
past.
this year?
Next were the Spanish Steps, and yeah,
spiraling?
sure, Rome. Trick me into looking at some fucking stairs as a tourist destination. Only stairs I'd travel for are the Joker stairs. Everyone knows that about me. But one thing about Italian cities that I can't get over is how much food there is and how easy it is to access. Thousands of shops that let you just walk right up, have food in your hand in a few seconds, and on top of all that, like everything we've eaten here has been way cheaper than the US. And I understand, I live in Los Angeles, where in some areas, everything costs $1,000. But I've been around the country, I'm not even from here. I know what shit costs. But after barely getting any sleep on the train and a full day out in the sun elbowing through crowds of tourists, it was time for my daily run. My jog in Rome was slow and delirious. I don't like to run near crowds, so I found a side street to do laps on. The problem was that it was very steep and had a really uneven pavement. Tired and out of it, I ran up, then down, then up, and down again. At one point, I thought I should maybe put my phone away and focus on my footing. But seconds later, disaster.
Somebody come quick!
My
Did he
worst
twist his
nightmare
ankle?
had become a reality. I fell and scraped my knee. My foot caught a very uneven piece of cobblestone, and I ate shit in front of two elderly Italian women walking a dog. I hit the ground so hard that I slid
Please show
a
using
couple of
it.
inches on the cobblestone. I was so embarrassed that before I could even feel the pain, I shot up, grabbed my phone off the ground, and sprinted around the corner.
Not even that bad, dude.
Ow. Later that night, we walked on over to meet up with our group for a food tour we signed up for. Now I know, a food tour sounds like the most touristy thing you can do, but this actually ended up being the night that I felt the least like a tourist. Our tour guide was from Rome and accompanied each stop with background on the city, each restaurant, and Italy as a whole. And the reason I felt less like a tourist is because you'll never get to know a place better than talking to somebody who
Sevens.
actually grew up there. Spending an entire night hearing completely new stories about this country and its food hit me like a truck. Sorry, I forgot we were in Europe. Hit me like a dainty little bike in my walkable city. None of this history resembled what I...
Okay, look, I love the concept of walkable
Was
cities.
there more to Italy than being the henchman
Please?
of World War II while some Italians came to the US to make pizzas? How could history be happening if America wasn't involved? Could there possibly be things that have happened in the world that we have nothing to do with? The implications were unsettling, to say the least. But after tonight, one thing is clear. True Italian authenticity is impossible to recreate anywhere other than Italy itself. There's just too much history behind every dish. So much so that certain
a
regions of Italy
non-perishable
have a true
version.
claim on
Okay.
specific foods. Carbonara in a place outside of Rome, quote, isn't real carbonara. But this is true regionally around the world, even in a country as new as the United States. You can attempt to recreate a perfect New York slice in LA, but no matter how good it is, it'll never be the real thing culturally. I know it's even true internally. Try to feed me deep dish or Italian beef outside of the Chicagoland area, and I'll enter it with an eye of skepticism. And I don't think this seemingly universal human need to draw food lines is based on trying to hoard credit or to exclude. I think it's based in a sense of pride. Proof that the place you grew up is special at something that you can share with other people. There's an old proverb that comes out of this city. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. And to Drew and Amanda, I guess the Romans run around fountains like this in this really weird way. But I observed that the Romans were going to bed. So after the four of us had a quick viewing of Despicable Me 2 on Italian TV, I got some shut-eye.
I think I'm just playing really sloppy at the moment.
After going to battle with my toilet this morning after days and days of cheese and red wine, I felt like a warrior. And where do warriors in Rome go? To the shockingly loud espresso machine in their hotel room. After that, they hit one of the most historic monuments in
not
human
surprising.
history, the GameStop in Naples. But that was too far, so we went to the Colosseum as our second choice.
Excuse me, do you mind taking a picture of us?
The Colosseum,
course, it's Chore
finished
again.
in 100 AD, this massive structure houses 17 whole acres in its center. 150,000 observers used to fill these stands, and literally nothing I just said was true. I just really wanted to piss off people who know way too much about Rome. That's right, nowhere to put that anger now, huh? It was just brewing in you, and now you gotta sit with it and let it fade away. The Colosseum is a very odd place to visit.
Nope, I'm
because
good.
it's hard to believe people were so mean to each other here. Nowadays, we don't perform such barbaric acts of violence for entertainment. We're more civilized than that. We let our government do it for political gain. I mean, can you imagine a world where thousands of people are focused on one young Italian man with abs as he tries to kill out in the open? Different times, brother. Different times. One thing you may not know about the Colosseum is that everything is old as hell here. There's no Roku TV, there's no Fortnite, there's nothing like that. Nothing to ease my self-diagnosed ADHD that my doctor keeps insisting is, quote, not real. And that, quote, a TikTok you agree with isn't enough for an Adderall prescription. After leaving the Colosseum with our lives, our time in Rome was coming to an end.
Jesus, true.
Off to another train station. Now, even though we've been constantly moving,
It's just
I'm
a
starting to
little
feel a lot
bit
more
too much
comfortable.
cringe for me.
Despite what people say, Italy is a lovely place to visit. I contemplated this as I had a nice sandwich on the train while taking in the sights. Overall, it was a pretty peaceful ride. Florence, the birthplace of the Renaissance. A city so ingrained in the history of human art that, oh, who's this guy?
Go for it.
Florence is so full of history,
Right.
art, and architecture to go see. But I had a very specific stop on my checklist. In 2018, Conan O'Brien and Jordan Schlansky went on a trip to Italy for Conan on TBS. It was a multi-episode event that was one of my personal favorite pieces of late-night TV that I've ever seen. And when they were in Florence, they stopped at Jordan's
Well, hi,
favorite
Brain. Merry
sandwich
Christmas
shop.
to you as
Conan
well.
got this very simple sandwich with mozzarella
Oh,
and
hello.
prosciutto. I have thought about this sandwich for 6.5 years. And I understand there's nothing that special about this sandwich. But to stand in the streets of Florence, order it, and hear this crunch has been a weird fixation of mine for nearly my entire 20s. So finally, I was gonna have it for myself. As I headed there, I thought about how thankful I was for Conan's body of work. The years of laughs, being a huge inspiration for me to get into entertainment. It's closed? I came all this way and it's closed? Oh, fuck you, Conan. Why are you so tall, by the way? Be
Ah.
So rather than
That was me last night, and I played
having
Risk with
my
my brother-in-law.
sandwich, we headed to a
And
museum
bump.
instead.
You can tell it's AI because the fingers are kind of weird.
Oh look, I'm Italy. I have a long-running history of making beautiful art. Cool. Yeah, sure, the Renaissance is something, but have you ever seen Gravedigger fucking spin out in the Staples Center? I have.
Hopefully the in-laws were
Just
good,
wait
though.
until you get a
Bye.
roast from the
Was
king
watching
of
this.
the roast, Drew Good.
What about something like this? What do you guys think? I just thought of that.
Other than the old religious paintings, there was one piece of art here that I'm pretty positive you're familiar with. Now I know many of you have already seen thousands of images of David, but there are a whole lot of details you can notice when you're up close and personal. Later that day, after seeing the Duomo,
Why was that lady taking it like?
luckily,
That lady was like trying to get the best angle for an ass pick. That was that was so funny. I don't know why. Like she's straight trying to look at her. She's like, yeah. Straight up, getting a good angle of the cake. That's wild.
later that day, after seeing the Duomo, we decided to duck into a random
That's so
wine bar.
funny,
Luckily, it had
dude.
decent prices and a halfway decent view. And it wasn't just the table we were at. The bathroom is being added to Eddie's top 10 lists of places to piss in the world. As we explored the city,
That is a beautiful sight, though.
I really started to
Beautiful.
enjoy Florence more than most places I visited. During this trip, it feels like I'm water skiing across the country. rocketing on top of the surface, never having real time to stop and sink deeper. No place gave me this feeling more than wrapping up our only night in Florence. Luckily after this, we'll be in one place for 3 days, but part of me is saddened by the fact that there's so much I can't see. To me, that's the worst part about being a tourist. You mostly get to see a place's greatest hits, but those hits can sometimes be like theme park attractions rather than a true piece of the culture. Oftentimes, my favorite part of traveling is not getting my photo at a spot that everyone knows. It's the little moments when you're allowed to see a glimpse of the real place behind the attractions.
I know how that is. Same.
Something you'd only experience from
very much the
visiting
same.
longer, or even better, being welcomed in from somebody who grew up there. Unfortunately, I have neither in Italy, so all I can do is take in whatever I pass as best I can before zooming to the next spot. I hope to one day be able to spend more time in Florence, but for now, a kiss goodnight.
Oh. No, Eddie, no. No.
This morning, we're headed out to the countryside for 3 full days. But I had one more thing that I had to do in Florence. After 6 years of dreaming about this sandwich that I saw on TV once, I finally got to order it. Six years waiting for this review, and it was pretty good. A lot of good sandwiches here in Italy, so it was one of them. Christy and I met Drew and Amanda at a car rental place.
Jesus.
The sandwich. We were
That's
headed to the
what
Tuscan
you left with?
countryside.
Wild. Kinda naughty, mate.
Now, if you're rushing to comment, Eddie, Florence is also Tuscany. How does it feel to be right? How does it feel to be smarter than me? Rural Tuscany is another part of Italy that you've seen a lot of in media.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Whether it's Russell Crowe mourning the tragic death of his wife and son in Gladiator, or that picture that you throw out that comes with your picture frame. I'm gonna put a picture in it. You don't need to give me an example. I know what a photo looks like. But this spot is also special to me because rural Tuscan Olive Gardens are the exact thing the Olive Garden is trying to replicate. Olive Garden actually advertised that they had somewhat of a cooking school in Tuscany at one point, but I just looked it up and it seems like the closest thing to proof of it is an alleged ex-employee on Reddit claiming they mainly got flown to Tuscany by the company as like a vacation, and they just took a regular cooking class like here and there. One thing that's insane to me is the cost to stay here was under $200 a night. Not per person, total. I've stayed in a Spring Hill Suites in Katy, Texas that cost more than that. To be exact, it was $174 a night. And part of the deal was 3 on-property cats. Later that night, Chrissy cooked us a wonderful meal. Drew helped in the kitchen, Amanda tended to the cats, and I sat there thinking about how thankful they must be to know me. Yeah, it must be nice.
Is Eddie okay? What is going on with him? What did this trip do to Eddie?
Something positive, you know, because we hear all this negative stuff all the time.
The next morning, I went for my run and was mesmerized by the nature around me. The forest path opened and called me to follow it. Being here in this country for a while now has been so enjoyable, but knowing Italy more as a real place had never left me feeling less Italian in my entire life. I grew up under Chicago Italians who were proud of being Sicilian, but to be honest, I knew next to nothing about this place until I actually came here. Sure, there were traces of Italy, but it had mostly been diluted through generations in the US.
What's house?
Was lost. No, wait, I'm actually fucking lost. Where am I?